Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to this learning session on pumpkins. I heard from Camilla and Fernando that the pumpkins were the hit of the delivery this week. I understand also that you guys want some extra time with the boxes, so this session will continue until November 9th. We have included some extra custom activities for you and your child to explore in your box. So, last week, did your child enjoy the hammering? Well, honestly, what's not to like? Did you know that actually all sorts of jobs require the use of a hammer? I looked it up. Fire inspectors, car mechanics, bricklayers, electricians, welders, geologists, sculptors, upholsterers, drywall installers, carpenters, orthopedic surgeons, cabinet makers, dentists, metal workers, archaeologists, paleontologists, roofers, blacksmiths, rock climbers, and farriers, just to name a few. Trust me, hammering could be really important later. Plus, it's super fun. I hope your kids enjoyed it. Well, this week we are going to cook and make a wonderful sun catcher, do a little bit of estimation, and retell the story with the five little pumpkins with felt. Sounds fun, right? Well, let's get started. I think with all the fun that we have with pumpkins, it's easy to forget that pumpkins are actually food. So we thought it would be fun to bake a pumpkin quick bread. Quick breads are breads that are made without yeast and are considered quick because you don't have to wait for the yeast to cause the bread to rise. In your box, you're going to find the dry ingredients, flour and sugar in one bag, baking soda, baking powder, and pumpkin spice in other bags, and a can of pumpkin puree. So let's start by heating the oven to 325 degrees and generously greasing your two loaf pans with oil and flour. So our first step is actually to mix the flour, the baking powder, and the baking soda in a bowl and set it all aside. So basically all the white ingredients. And then next, in a different bowl, you want to cream your butter with the sugar. Then to the butter sugar mixture, you want to add one egg at a time to the sugar and butter mixture until both eggs are incorporated and the mixture is creamy like the second picture. It's time to add the pumpkin. So to add the entire can of the pumpkin into our mixture of the eggs and sugar and um, and butter, and mix until incorporated. It's still going to look a little bit chunky because of the pumpkin, but that's okay. That's perfect. That's fine. So then we want to add the flour and all of the leavening ingredients, the baking powder and all of that into our wet mixture. And then finally add our spices into that mixture and combine all of it. Separate the batter into loaf pans and then put it in the oven on the middle rack and bake for 65 to 75 minutes. Around the 65-minute mark, you want to check the center of the loaf and make sure that it comes out clean. You want to take it out of the oven and let it cool for 10 minutes in the pan, and then take the pans out or the breads out of the pan and let them cool on a rack like we see here. Well, now that they're cool, it is time to taste what you guys made. Now, some people eat it just plain, which I do, but others like it with butter, like buttering bread, and some even add cream cheese. Maybe you could do a taste test and see what your family likes best. The good news is this bread can be frozen and served later. If you bring it out of the freezer, just let it sit out at room temperature until it's not frozen anymore. And don't forget, your recipe is actually in the box in case you have want to do it again. Well, this is activity number 5, our sun catcher. And in your box, you're going to find a bag marked 5, which contains wax paper, tissue paper of different colors, and a black pumpkin outline. And to make your sun catcher, you're going to need glue and scissors. So to start, you want to glue your wax paper to the back of the pumpkin. And then they should cut some tissue paper and add it to the back of the pumpkin onto the wax paper. Next, when they're done adding all of those tissue paper, you want to have them glue the last piece of the wax paper to the back of the pumpkin too. And now the pumpkin is ready to actually catch light and be hung on the window. I can't wait to see what it looks like. And here are a couple samples that we actually see from other kids that have done this. Really delightful. This is activity number 6. We're going to try to estimate how many pumpkin seeds are in the bag. Now the bag is a small bag of pumpkin seeds and a set of 10 grids. And there's really 2 steps to estimating with children on how many there are of something. The first step, obviously, is the guess or the estimate. And the second step is validating the guess by actually counting. To help with the counting, we have provided multiple 10 grids like this one. To check, they can put 1 pumpkin seed in each one of these grids. Each grid holds 10 holes, so there'll be 10 in a group. So how many did they estimate and how many did there were? This idea of validating the estimate helps them get better and better at estimation. It'll be interesting to see how well they've done it. This will be the first time, well, that I know that they've done it. Our last activity, activity number 7, is a cute little poem that's about 5 little pumpkins. And it's a field story, so we've provided a fence and then 5 very different little pumpkins. So with field stories, the child becomes the mover of the action. So they set up their fence and put their pumpkins on it, and then they recite the poem with you. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one says, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one says, "There are witches in the air." And the third one says, "But we don't care." The fourth one says, "Let's run, let's run." And the fifth one says, "Isn't Halloween fun?" And then woo went the wind, and out went the lights, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. Well, how fun is that? And how cute are those pumpkins? Well, that finishes our learning session on pumpkins. We hope your family and your child have enjoyed exploring pumpkins with us. Next session is about family celebrations, and we'll be in contact soon. Wish us luck on our move. We'll be moving the first, so be thinking good thoughts for us. And as always, if anything comes up that you need to talk to someone, either text Camilla or Fernando. We're standing by ready to help. Thank you.